Hello again, legends. We're back. It's been a little while. Stuff going on. Tap room's reopened. We've been brewing a lot of cask beer, which has been great, and getting that packaged. I'll show you the beer I didn't actually package it. Kirsty packaged it for me during the day today. So really feeling the results of having someone working during the day for you, which is just awesome. That's our International Women's Brew Day beer that's gone into cask. That's going to be available for trade in about a week's time. So I'm recording this on a Wednesday night, 8:45. Hang on a minute. Wednesday, the glasses on because I'm blind. Wednesday the 25th. So if you got a local venue that wants to support International Women's Day, get in touch. We can hit you up with a cask or two, limited amount. We've gone big on the Azaka and Mosaic on this one. Still be pin bright, still be kind of good cask vibes. Looking forward to this one, and we've got 4 cornies to go through the hand port in the tap as well. But yeah, things have been good. Weather's been great. I know, like the rest of the UK, although today we've been a bit Scottish in our weather, and we've had a little bit of everything. I'll insert a little video in now to one of the weathers we had today, as well as sunshine. And now it's decided, after being, positively spring-like, it's now decided to just plummet in temperature. It's 4 degrees outside. I think on my way in I had to put another jumper on. And we're like 10 degrees in the brewery right now, so a little bit nippy. So I might have to pop some gloves on later when I'm doing what we're going to do tonight to show you. But anyway, yeah, cracking on. The other thing we did do was we packaged one of the barrels of the Imperial Stout. That was done a week or so, no, a week and a half ago on a Saturday. I got a little bit of footage. Again, I'll insert a few little bits into here of some of the pictures and a little bit of footage of us packaging the beer. I really wanted to record that day, extracting the beer out of the barrel, doing all the sugar priming and take you through all of the calculations for that. But it was just such a busy day. Just things ran away before I knew where I was. We were nearly finishing all the bottling, and I was thinking, why am I not recording this stuff? So do apologise, but we've got another 2 barrels worth of Impy Stout, and we're talking about brewing another one in the coming months. So I promise I will record that. But hang on a second, let me just show you. Oh no, it's over here. Hang on. So this has got to have a couple of weeks in bottle before, because we batch primed it. So batch primed it in keg, in the tank. With sugar and priming yeast. So this will take a little while because it's still quite cool in here, but that's good though because it'll carb up nice and slow. This will be ready to be labelled and wax dipped. So we're going to wax dip the bottles, and we've got a really cool label to go with this because we made this beer with the one and only Emperor. So this is an Emperor's Imperial Stout. This is, I need to check the final gravities before we print the label. It's going to be between 11 and 12%. So it's going to be pretty decent. Only available in 330s. We've got a limited number of 10-litre key kegs that will be going out to trade, beer festivals, and in the tap room, probably for our birthday. So yeah, keep your eye open for when these come out. Very limited number. I think we've done like 280 bottles, so not a lot. Only like 1 barrel was done, which was... this has been aged for 12 months in a Heaven Hills bourbon barrel. So super oaky whiskey, thick as anything. Yeah, really looking forward to once this has got over a little bit of bottling shock, done its carbonation thing, just chilled out and settled in the bottles. This will probably go on sale potentially around about our birthday time. It'll go on the web shop. So keep an eye open for these for later. So we have had actually quite a bit of stuff going on. I just haven't recorded it all. But, that's the life of a busy brewery. I've been enjoying all the other content out there on YouTube. One of the other things, actually, all these things have been going on. The other thing that went on was we were at Beerex So that is the annual beer exhibition up at the Exhibition Centre in Liverpool City. Again, I've probably got a few pictures and videos that I can just flash up now while I'm kind of talking you through. An amazing day once again. Probably had a few too many beers come the end of the night. I think we finished the night kind of slightly traditionally at about 2:30 at Dead Crafty, drinking imperial stouts, which is, you know, always never going to end well. But yeah, great to meet loads of great suppliers, ones we currently use and potentially new ones, which we'll do some videos about in the coming months. Talked to a few of the brewers about some potential collaborations as well, which was awesome. Bumped into some guys I've not seen for a while. Also had a great kind of YouTube brewer meetup. So I bumped into a number of other people that you will all know. So obviously the lovely guy at Sunbear Brewing, Liam, we met up and had a bit of a chat, him and his mate. I bumped into Mr. Bagley and Wheatlow Brewery, which was awesome as well. Bumped into Rob Miller with you starting your brewery as well, which was awesome. And the other thing I'd like to say as well is thank you to all of you other people that came up and spoke to me at BeerX. It was a bit of a weird moment, to be honest. I've never really done this in a hope to, you know, be known at all in any way, shape or form. It's just a bit of fun. You guys can get to see what it's like to have a hobby that gets way out of hand and do some of the weird stuff that I'm doing. But it was super cool. Those of you that came up and spoke, said hi, say you watched the videos, say you like the content, you know, sort of content I do is a little bit different. It's not necessarily, you know, brewing historical styles and bringing stuff back to life like Mr. Bagley and at Wheatlow, but, you know, this is a bit more kind of real life, right? This is the kind of stuff that, you know, happens in a brewery, and hopefully you enjoy it. But absolutely love people coming to speak. And if you see me at any of the events, we're hopefully going to be at Love and Beer. We're definitely going to be at London Craft Beer Festival this year. Come and see us. Come and say hello. Come and get a picture. Give me your details. We'll give you a shout out. And you never know, we might end up making a beer together one day. You never know. We do have some ideas about that for later on in the year. So watch this space. Anyway, this evening is all about pumps. So one of the things that happened on one of our brew days the other day was my mash pump died. And when I call died, it just started leaking work. So this is the pump that I'll take you over and show you actually. Hang on a second. Kirsty called over to say, I think we've got a bit of a leak. And work was just leaking straight out the bottom of the pump face, which says to me, that's classic, seal's gone. And I proved that by closing the outgoing side of the pump. So the basic pump's pumping against a blocked end, and work would, excuse my French, just piss out the bottom. If I open that outlet valve fully, so basically the pump's pumping in against an open end, no pressure, no leak at all, and off it went. But that's not good for the pump because that's just pumping too fast. So we had to think quick on our feet. And I do have a spare old pump up on the roof, but would have to clean it. Don't have to sterilize it because it's pre-boiled, but we'd have to clean it. I'd have to wire it up, and that would easily take us half an hour plus, maybe even longer. And that's assuming it worked. It's been sat in a basket up on the top of the toilet block for the last 2 years. So what we did, Brainwave, I got the CIP pump, same kind of pump. It's got the right brewery seal in it. Hooked that up with a bit of jiggery pokery of slightly longer pipes. Hooked that up, and that did the job beautifully. Got us through the runoff and the sparge, and got us through the brew day for this International Women's Day beer, which was an absolute lucky stroke. So that was great, but I need to fix the pump. Now, most people would say, do you know what I'm going to do? I'll just throw the pump away and just get a new one. Well, let me break a little something to you. So the pump I'm talking about normally would be around about here, and actually you can probably see the shadow of like a murder scene. There's a shadow of where it would normally live there, and that pump using the underback here, which the underback's connected to the bottom of the mash tun. Work runs out into the underback, pipe goes round, pump picks it up here, and then pushes the freshly collected work from there into the kettle. And that's normally how things work. So yeah, so that's the idea. We're going to take the pump face off. I've got some Allen keys. I've got a set of spanners, screwdriver. I might need some grips, but I've got those up on the tool board. We're going to strip the pump down. I might lay some blue roll out. And then what I like to do when I take anything like this apart to make sure it goes back together again is you take it apart sequentially and you lay the parts out. I think the term is like an exploded view. So as it comes out, it goes out, so you know then when you put it back together, it goes back the way it came. We'll fit the mechanical seal, and I'll get this out later and show you. While I'm talking, if I can find a video or a picture about how the mechanical seal sits in one of these pumps, I'll stick it up on the screen now. It's essentially like a ceramic material and an EPDM, which is like a type of rubber, but it's specific for hot worked chemicals, sugary liquid at up to 100 degrees, and a spring behind it. And what it does is it pushes the two faces together so they can rotate with the rotating face of the pump, and it basically keeps a seal. So it means you can have this, the shaft of the pump kind of coming out onto the impeller, and the two can come together and it can pump and it's not going to leak. But of course, when the seal fails, then work's going to be able to get past that and basically just fall out the back face of the pump. I'm hoping, I suspect that it is one of the pump seal faces, not the spring. It has been known for this to happen for the spring, where the spring can snap and basically you lose the compression. You should be able to see that in the picture where the two faces are pushed together. But I suspect it's the seal face. Part of my reason for suspecting that is this pump has been getting a little bit squealy over the last 4 or 5 months, which says to me that the wearable part of that ceramic face has started to wear down, and then obviously it's eventually run out. So I'm going to stick some gloves on, let's get you set up, and let's start stripping this apart, and I'll kind of try and talk you through replacing the seal in the pump. These are the pumps here. Don't look much, single phase, 0.4 amps, so not particularly juicy or anything like that. But these little bad boys retail with VAT for around about 850 quid. Yes, you heard me right, £850 for this. Which I don't know who world anyone lives in, but that's just too much money to just throw away and buy a new one. I have bought a new one, but that was because my other pump, the Whirlpool pump, the bearings were starting to go, and that is almost non-serviceable. But I do know that the mechanical seal that's in here is a serviceable part. I managed to source one for £80, which we've got here. And the video tonight is we're going to take this pump apart and replace the mechanical seal and put it back together. Alrighty, so we've got a pump. Let's get the pump face off first. It's upright. I have rinsed this out, but there's probably going to be some nasties in here somewhere. Cool, that's stock already, right? Cool. Jeepers, I should have brought my I've got some cool. See, I've painted over this bit when I repainted the body, and I wonder on the stand, I wonder if that's not going to help things much actually. So let's get Stanley knife. Trying to help with these cap heads coming off. Then if I need to, I will have to... there we go. Cool, tighter than a tight thing. Of course, by the looks of it, this whole foot's going to have to come off. But to get the pump face off, because it's underneath that. Oh, snapped. Well, that's wonderful, isn't it? That's going to make things interesting. Let's see if the face will still come off, because that wasn't through the paint stick, and that's literally just rusted. It looks like the body of this is like aluminium, which is obviously slightly ferrous, so it's corroded on the bolt on the cap head and made it stiff. So let's just make sure we give ourselves the best chance possible of getting these out. These aren't the best. These are not the best Allen keys, if I'm honest. So let's have a go at this one. I wonder if I might need to put a bit of heat on them. So I've got a small blowtorch. I just hope when we get back to reassembly that missing that cap head down there won't affect the seal. Interestingly, when I bought this seal online, I thought I was getting the whole service kit or the whole seal kit. And that one doesn't want to play. Yeah, I thought I was getting the whole seal kit. So the O-ring that goes all the way around here, and then a couple of other O-rings, but actually it looks like I've just got the mechanical seal. So when this comes apart, I do need to be careful and make sure I don't break any of the rubber seals. Otherwise, I'm going to have to buy another service kit. It's not the end of the world, because actually I could see the mechanical seals could need to be replaced. And I've actually got the other pump I've got up on the roof. I suspect what's wrong with that is the mechanical seal's gone. It came with the brewery when I bought it and just had broken on it. I've never connected it up to actually see what's broken. Might see if I can get my other better Allen keys out actually for this one here. Let's give it. It's like it's not quite able to get down into there properly. Like I got some paint in it when I was painting it up. Yeah, it's like it's oh, it's moving. Damn it. Let's see, shall we? Worst case scenario will be I'll have to drill those out and then rethread them. That is a pain in the bum, isn't it? Oh, hands are cold holding that as well. I'm going to put some gloves on. We shall see. We shall see. On the plus side, I've still got these 2 bolts here. Let's get these out. Yeah, you can see there. Oh, you're going to focus camera, you can see there. Not sure whether that's going to focus or not, but they're quite corroded. I'll give you a close-up of those in a bit. So that's the bottom bracket off. You can see where they've just... The only worry will be is where these have rusted and snapped off, whether that's going to stop the whole pump face coming off. Only doing this, we will see. Wonder if I'll definitely have to give these bolts a clean. See, it's the lower down ones. It's the ones that are lower down on the face that have had hot work and chemicals and stuff on them. I wonder if I might be able to use a stud extractor maybe to get those out, because I don't think. I guess these must be stainless steel bolts, so they're going to be pretty hard. One more to go. Oops. Right. Let's see if. See, the worry is that these 2 that have that are in there are going to stop it. But let's try. There we go. At least that's what's stopping. Huh. Well, this is interesting, isn't it? I'll flip the camera around just so you can see this. No idea what that is. Hang on a second. So what I took off of here, when I took the face off, this little black bit here was kind of stuck inside the face, and I suspect that's part of the seal. So this is the inside of the face, the underside. This is the seal that I'm talking about, would normally come with the bigger seal kit. So I just need to make sure we're looking after this, and this goes back in place. This is a little bit mucky because, of course, we didn't CIP it after we'd finished because we were just busy on other things. So yeah, so that's the inside face. There's a little rubber seal that sits down inside here as well, that seals around here. So we just need to make sure that's still in one piece as well. But yeah, right, let's get this upright and then get the impeller off. So that's the front face, that's the impeller. And then there's my little screwdriver. Might get a little bit more blue roll just to wipe things off. I'll try and clean things as we go a little bit. Being careful of the seals, that's the problem. So I don't really want to break any of the seals because then we're going to have to buy another seal kit. Obviously this is nothing that a good CIP won't fix. So the inside of this thing is a bit mucky actually. I can see a few bits of mold and what have you that's in here because of course this thing broke mid brew day and we've not CIP'd it since. I've just taken it off. So this will get a good clean now. And then we'll CIP it to prove it as well before we go into brew day with it. We use it to CIP the kettle as usual. We can use that to prove that that my repairs worked. Right, so next thing is we need to get this off. Now the way to get this off is because, of course, hang on a second, me do this for you. Oops. So this here, obviously this rotates. So this is the pump impeller, as they call it. The liquid comes in at the front, goes through some small little veins inside here, which I can show you, and then it gets flung out to the outside edge, which it then comes out the top port of the pump. And that's how what's called a centrifugal pump works. So it works on centrifugal force. Liquid in there, and it just flings it out. And as it flings it out, it's only one way it can go out, through the hole at the top. And then jobs are good. But what we need to do is usually we hold the end nut on the fan on the top. So what we'll do is, with my other screwdriver, is we'll take the fan cover off. I've already made a right old mess of the blue roll already, so we're putting some new blue roll down. There's only 2 screws for the fan cover by the looks of it. Looks like it's a 17mm on the front. I don't have any sockets here, so I'm hoping I will be able to. There we go, that's minging. That'll need a clean as well. Is that a 17 or a 19? It's a 19, look. Okay, I have to put an adjustable on that. And then here, that is a 17. So, what we can do is, so I can hold the back fan See what I mean? Because the rotor runs all the way through to the other side, and hopefully, is this gonna? Well, things didn't quite go to plan. As you can see in the video that we've just cut away from, we're now 2 days later. And I could not, for love nor money, get the back off the pump. So you have to take the fan off the back to be able to get hold of the spindle, to be able to undo the nut at the end, which I was trying to do. I was trying to do it without taking the fan off, and you could see in the video it just wasn't happening. Couldn't get a grip on it. So next thing was to take the fan off, which I did, which I'll show you, which was being held on. Actually, I got, where is it? Back here. So the fan was being held on by like a back here. Sorry, it's not a very good video, is it? From being all the way back there. It's been held on. So that's the fan. This sits on the back of the pump. You need this because actually when the pump's running, the fan spins and it blows air over the fins of the case of the motor to keep it cool. But what you've got is you've got like this collar here. I don't know whether you can see that. And this collar compresses the splines on here, and that makes it grip on the back of the shaft. So a little bit of a faff to get this off, but I got it off in the end. But then even with grips on the end of the shaft, I couldn't get my standard, I think it's a 19 or 17-inch spanner, just open-ended spanner, because of the end of the impeller. Whether you can see, remember seeing on it that I couldn't quite get it onto there. So I was like, I needed a socket. My socket set wasn't here. Well, I did have one socket set, but it didn't go up to 17 or bigger. So I was like, right, I need to get a socket. Then I was like, oh, actually, I'm going to need a vise because I'm going to need to clamp this thing down, clamp it end on, get the socket on it to undo it. So last night, and I didn't start recording it because I wanted to see how it went, did all that. Could I get it undone? That's when I realised I needed a vise to be able to clamp this thing in, just holding it with grips. Got myself relatively cheap Magnuson screw fix socket set. Actually, I needed one here in the brewery because for whatever reason, I think my socket set, either I've lost it or it's at home somewhere. So I needed one here. It was like 25, 30 quid or whatever it is. Actually, it's quite good. Actually, quite impressed with it. Goes all the way up to 24. I think goes down to 10 mil. I think my other little socket set does 10 mil and under. So this is kind of, I want to say part deux, but actually it's part three of me trying to get this nut off the end of the shaft to get this impeller off. So I'll show you now. We've got it in a vise, got it set up, and we're going to give it a go now. It's clamped in there proper tight to see if it's okay to get it off. So let's go. So this is what I've got. I managed to borrow this sort of movable, portable vise off a friend, which is just clamping onto the end of my my workbench. This is an old school Black & Decker workmate, those that know. they know that these things are epic. They don't make them like this anymore. So I've got the end shaft of the pump clamped in through here, coming up, and obviously we've got the bloody nut on the top of the end of this spanner, and you can see obviously the things, you know, I know the bearings are good in this because this thing just spins absolutely fine. Obviously it's this I need to get undone, so let's see if we can get the socket on, and let's see if we can get this undone. So socket on here, need to get that the right way. Let's see if we can get it undone. Oh, it just doesn't want to shift. Of course, I'm worried about damaging this or rotating in here. Let me give it one more go. So the question is, now what do we do? There's only really one other thing to try after this, and that's heat. Get some heat on it, heat it up, and then see if that's enough to expand it enough so it's loose enough so we can get it off. So I think that is our only other choice. So let me get my blowtorch out and let's give it a go. Don't want to get it too hot. That's a bit of the WD-40 just smoking that I've put on there. Right, let's give this a go, shall we? Watch out, that's hot. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go, look. So that's wobbling a bit. That's done it. Right, let's see if we can get you over the top to have a look. See whether you can see. So you can see, oh, that's hot. Right, so we need to make sure we take this apart sequentially. So that's the, oh, there we go, that's the end nut. So that's going to go there. We should now be able to, the impeller, so we're back. This is like stage 3 of this. So sit rep on the pump seal saga is found a seal, bought a seal off the company on the internet. Right one, brewery, mechanical seal, no problem. Got the pump face off. Unfortunately snapped, 2 bolts snapped because they'd seized in the pump casing, which we need to drill out and retap. Great. Then we had the challenge of trying to get the center shaft nut off. Couldn't work out how to get it off, whether it was a left-hand thread, right-handed thread, yada yada. Came to the conclusion in the end, let's give it a bit of heat, because heat is always good because it makes stuff expand. Got that off, we got this off, that came off. Next challenge was, why can't we get the impeller off? It doesn't lift off. And then I was looking through loads of information online, and all the one video by this pump manufacturer just showed someone lifting it off, but clearly that wasn't the case. Searched around online, found some mechanical drawings for this, which I'll try to insert into here so you can see, and there was no sign of the impeller being on a thread on that centre shaft that goes through the middle of the pump, down through the motor. So then I started talking to another pump repairer and almost resigned myself to the fact that I'm going to have to send it off and get it done. The guy mentioned to me, oh no, it is threaded, and we use a rubber oil filter removing tool to get the impeller off. That's all we do, and then we just lock it and then just undo it. So I said, okay, I'll give that a go. And he said, that's fine, have a go. If you can't get on with it, you struggle with it, just let us know and then we can do it for you. So I managed to borrow one of these off a friend of mine, because who does oil filters on their cars anymore, like we used to in the old days of my Mini and stuff. So yeah, let's have a go at getting this off. If we can get the impeller off, which means we can replace the mechanical seal, we can then have a look at drilling and tapping out these snapped bolts. Thankfully my time's free, but time's kind of rapidly racking up. We probably need to start brewing again soon, so either I'm gonna have to bite the bullet, get this serviced, or buy a new pump, which is circa 700 quid. Seal's only 80 quid, my time's free. But on the plus side, the servicing company up in Northampton quoted like 40 quid actual labour to do the seal, and then 80 quid for the seal, which I already have. So actually, in theory, I could just send that to them. Just have to courier it there and back, which would be a pain, but hey. So this kind of continuation, next step on is getting off the impeller. So I'll just give you a quick show and then we'll have a go at this thing. So this is what we're talking about. Nut was on here. Where's it gone? There it is. So that was the retaining nut that's holding the impeller on. I was expecting it to be left-handed, because obviously the way the pump spins, there's a risk of it undoing itself, but the guy at the pump servicing place said these guys usually put some thread lock, it's like a glue on there, and then when I heated it, I probably melted the thread lock away, which enabled me to get this off. So in theory, the thread lock should be off this, and then you'll see it's really hard to see whether that's threaded on, but they reliably tell me it is. So we've got back in the vise again, we're clamped up. We're going to get the strap, I think, around the outer of the impeller and try and undo it. So, hopefully, I need to remind myself how one of these works. I get that around that, and then, is it? Because that would be, I need to take it that way, don't I? Because that would be doing it up, wouldn't it? Oops. It's going to be the only challenge is getting it around, because it's quite a small area, and that bit in the middle, the centre of that of the impeller is quite thin metal, so I'm a little bit reluctant to do that one. Let's try this one first. I can't work out if that's moving. Oh yeah, I think we've got it. I think we have. I think we got success. So in theory, bring you in so you can have a look. So here you go. So I've just got the old mechanical seal out, and there should be like a seal face there. You can see where it's kind of, that's basically worn down to metal. If I get the replacement part, try and do this so the camera so you can see the difference in what's supposed to be there, and that's on this new seal, that's what's worn away. So we've now got that. I can now see the other half of the seal here. So if I can just, annoyingly, I might have to take the pump out. There we go. I might have to take the pump out the vise to be able to get the other half of the corresponding seal out. That's annoying, isn't it? Because it's just like there. I wonder if I can get another screwdriver on it and flip it up. Maybe. I can, if not, it will be a on the vice, out of the vice scenario to come on. Yeah. Let's take it out the vice. Not quite. There we go. So we can see, I'll pop that back in there for a second. Yeah, it looks good. Give that a little bit of a clean. But you can actually see here the back of the seal is actually collapsed and broken. If I turn it around there, you can see where it's broken. And if I carefully show you the other half of what it should look like, you need to be very careful with these because you don't want to get them dirty. That's what it should look like. And that's what the broken one looks like. So that is pretty much foobar. So that's the other mechanical face. That's that face. Right, I just need to give this a bit of a clean. Let's get it clamped back up. Oopsie. Give this a bit of a clean, and then yeah, and then we'll start reassembling. I'll give the impeller as well, just so you can see. Here's the impeller, and these, whether you can see the small entry points in the middle. These are absolutely critical to how a centrifugal pump works. Basically, the liquid comes into the middle, goes into the vanes, and as this is turning, it gets flung out to the edges, which then allows you to pump. The reason centrifugal pumps are good but not good is they are not self-priming, so they have to be submerged, hence the reason why they have very little suction capacity, hence the reason why actually you can see bits of broken seal on this as well, so this needs a bit of a clean. But yeah, hence the reason why you need to keep these gaps, the holes in the vanes clear, and if you get bits of crud in there, the pump efficiency is reduced dramatically. So I'm going to go and give this a clean, and then we'll start reassembling. All right then, so we've given this bit of a clean. Do apologise if this wobbles a bit, but it's the best place I could find to put you into so you can see what I'm doing. So shaft's clean, faces are clean. So first thing to go on is the bottom seal and O-ring. See if I can show you that again. So this is the bottom seal and O-ring. So you can see the O-ring there in the bottom that will slide down in, and then this is sort of one half of the face of the mechanical seal. So like I said before, these are silicon carbide. So this should, actually I wonder if I've got any moly coat left. Hang on a second. So I remembered actually put a bit of moly coat. So this is, is it silicon based? I'm not sure. Light lubricant, just don't need much. And I don't want to get any on the mechanical seal face, but putting some around the O-ring will help it slip and locate, and it'll be less likely to deform as it goes down through over the shaft to its kind of bottom position. We always used to have to use this on O-rings when we were assembling things as apprentice. So yeah, so as before, first half of the mechanical seal face pointing up. Let's get this and then press that down. See that moly coat helps it just slide down into position. think the compressing the mechanical seal on top will help when we put the impeller back down, because of course it will push everything back down into place. So in theory now, we then get the other half of the mechanical seal, which then does have an O-ring inside it. Wonder if I can get a little bit of a moly coat inside it, just to help. So I'm just putting a bit on the inside, around the O-ring, not on the mechanical seal face. Just because hopefully that will help. There we go, see that slid on really nicely then, and you stand a lot better chance of not deforming the O-ring. So those two faces now match, so that should now be there. So then now I've got my cleaned impeller, and I've blown water through all the channels. So now the impeller goes back on. We tighten that right down, get as far down by hand as we can, and then, sorry if you're wobbling. And then if I get this on here, like that. Actually, I want it that way because I'm doing it up. Silly. So now winding that down onto that mechanical seal, putting pressure on the spring, which is going to hold those two faces together. And that's just hit a stop, interestingly. So I wonder if I am able to get that on there and just give that a... Didn't give me any torque settings, but I mean, to a point. I mean, yeah. Not sure about over tightening on this really. It's still, oops. Is that, no, it's still tightening. Right, that's gripping on there anymore. Let me give this one another nip up. Give this one more tighten. It's a bit fiddly this, but I must say there must be a tool. There must be a special tool for this, but as the guy said to me at the pump services, this is, oh, there he is. Well, that's as tight as that goes. Right, then we need to get that. I need to get my socket to get that tightened. So back on the 17mm. Right, there we go, no noise. Okie dokie, right, let's put that seal away so we can look at that for later. Actually, what I might do is put it back together, put this seal back together, kind of how the new one came. So I've got a reference for the future, because I've got a couple more pumps that are sat upstairs that I got allegedly broke. I suspect the seals had gone. There's one I've had. I just replaced the pump. I'm pretty sure the seal was on its way out. But now we know how to do this. We'll be able to do this again in future, hopefully. Obviously, we'll wait until we test this, but in theory, we should be there. So then it's going to be, I need to drill out and re-tap these now, and then reassemble the front face of the pump. Okay, so I've drilled the bolts out. Just run one starter tap down, and I'm just cutting a new thread into the final one here. So this is an M6 thread, using cutting fluid. I'm only using WD-40 because I've run out of other cutting fluid. But yeah, all this is probably show you one of the starter one here. So one of these, and you wind that down through your new hole, or in this case, the one I've just opened back out, and then you just basically cut in a new thread. So I've just kind of lost part of the thread from drilling out the old bolt. And here I'm just cutting in a new one back in the same place, so that when I put this pump back together, the bolts should just run nice and straight through, like that. So I'll just clean this up. We'll get the pump face on, get the O-ring on, and then we should be able to wire it back up and give it a test. And that is cool. New holes and threads cut. Right, let's get this reassembled. Okie dokie, pump's all back together. Need to get all this plumbed back in and then get it wired up. So yeah, let's get going with that. So here we go, switch on. We've got water going down onto the face of the pump, so I'm just going to have a little look underneath and see if there's any obvious leaks at the face or anything like that. That should help some of the water bleed through, and then if it's okay, I'll take the isolation off, put power onto it, and then we'll try and run the pump. Wish me luck. Well, that's a success. We got there in the end. Took a bit of tweaking and stuff along the way, working out some of the right tools needed, and a real big shout out to the guys at the pump supplier that helped me out on the little tool tip, how to get the impeller off. Now I'm quite happily pumping around water back around the kettle. I'm going to leave this now, let it run for a bit, and then get it set up for Kirsty when she's in next week. She can then give everything a really good CIP. So we're going to be brewing probably next week, another cask batch, because that's been selling really well. And then we've got birthday party brews that we're doing for our birthday. If you aren't aware, if you're in the area, you want to come along to our third birthday bash, 23rd of May, Saturday, 1 till 11, music all day, street food most of the day, open fire barbecue, all this sort of stuff going on. We've got the amazing guys from Crane Feasts here. If you haven't heard about them, this is the amazing 14-year-old and his dad food truck in Alton, or Alsford, not far from us. They've been all across the news. They're coming along and serving up some of their amazing food, as well as Dexter, who'll be here. So if you want to get a bit of the older social media buzz thing coming along, come along and see them. We've got collaboration beers that we're going to be brewing, beer in cans. We're probably going to be releasing our first barrel-aged Imperial Stout, which we package on that day. We'll have it on draft as well as some other crazy fun beers. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you really enjoyed it. Any questions, drop them down below. Quite happy to answer anything anyone wants to know about how to change the mechanical seal on a pump. Cheers, thank you very much. See you real soon.